And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the health anxiety talk, the twice delayed health anxiety talk. So I'm going to share with you some tips on how to see through the psychological illusion of health anxiety. Hey Christina, if you're watching, give me a thumbs up or give me a wave. So I'm going to talk about, hey Deb, how are you? I'm going to talk a little bit about health anxiety. So earlier on this week, I put up an announcement on Facebook. Hey Stacey. And it was, what would you like for me to do a Facebook live on? Hey Cole. And people voted with their finger or their fingers. And they said health anxiety. Health anxiety is what got the most amount of votes. Hence why we're doing this Facebook Live. Hey John, on health anxiety here tonight. Is going to be coming up. And I do apologise because I delayed it twice through technical difficulties. It was supposed to happen yesterday, Thursday, at around about 12:30, but my camera stopped working on my phone. It was supposed to happen today, earlier on this afternoon, I think at 1 p.m. And again, I was having a problem with my phone. But now it's working. So it's good all to see you there. Hey Camille. Hey John. Hey Heidi. If you're watching, give me a thumbs up. Give me a wave. Hope you're doing well on this Friday evening under lockdown, away from the T-virus and all the crazy zombies that are out there. Hey Rachel. So yeah, health anxiety. It's not any different from any other kind of anxiety. The context is different, i.e. the person who has social anxiety is anxious about interacting with other people. The person who has anxiety for aeroplanes is anxious of their thoughts of being in an aeroplane. The person with health anxiety is anxious about their health and what could happen. Hey Rihanna. Hey Rachel. So the content is different. The thing is different, but the way people do anxiety, whether it be social, whether it be general anxiety, whether it be a post-traumatic stress disorder, or whether it be health anxiety, which we're going to address tonight, it's all the same thing. They're doing the same thing inside their head. What people are doing is they're forgetting that they're thinking. They're forgetting that they're thinking. They think that their thinking is real, and they start to feel a bunch of feelings. And they start to think that it's real. They forget that they're thinking. They forget between the real world, if such a place exists, and them is a filter called your mind. That's why everyone doesn't have health anxiety. A small percentage of people have health anxiety. And I appreciate that it's very real for the people that have health anxiety. What do I mean by real? Meaning that you feel it. You feel it emotionally inside. You do this thing called anxiety, and the anxiety of the predisposed, I'm sorry, I haven't had enough coffee today, obviously. The imaginary future that you're creating, that you haven't realised you're creating, feels very real, and you're filled with those chemicals of anxiety inside your body. Hello Kim. Feels very real, panicky, heart palpitations, maybe you perspire a little bit. It feels real. There's a chemical reaction on your body. I appreciate that and I acknowledge that because I've worked with a lot of people who have suffered from health anxiety, but it's not real. You're like, Luke, you just shit over everything you've just said to me. Are you telling me what I'm feeling is not real? No. I'm not saying that for one moment because I work with quite a lot of people with health anxiety. It feels very real for you. In your body, in your mind, creates fear, creates panic for you. I acknowledge that, but it's not real. Let me tell you what I mean by it's not real, okay? You cannot feel the future because it doesn't exist. All anxiety exists in the future, whether it be health, whether it be social, whether it be general anxiety, post-traumatic disorder. Here's how everyone does it. They go out to an imaginary event that hasn't happened yet in the future. It could happen, equally it could not happen. But what people do is they catastrophize it, probably quicker than I can click my fingers, and most of the time it's done under the unconscious. So it's done underneath the surface of what you're thinking. Basically, you forget that you're thinking and you automatically think that it's real. So this is what people get. And here's an interesting thing. what happens with people is they think, well, health anxiety. Look, everyone's got health anxiety now because of the coronavirus. No, they don't. I don't. I had it. I've helped about 8,000 people that have it. Heidi, love your help later. Thank you. P.S. Your tattoos are awesome. Thank you very much. I had health anxiety. It's easy. It's easy in this day and age with what's going on now and we're all under lockdown from coronavirus. It's easy for everyone to have it, but I don't. And I know quite a few people that don't. They're a bit annoyed that they can't go out and go to work, make money. Appreciate that. They may be a little bit anxious about how they're going to pay the bills because the money's not going in. But as pure as, oh my God, am I going to get coronavirus? Am I going to die? Not everyone has that. Not everyone has that at all. So the difference, then it becomes interesting, doesn't it? Because it becomes, well, there's people that do have their health anxiety, Luke, and they feel this is the worst case scenario is going to happen. And there's people at this time and age, while we're under lockdown, coronavirus in the world, there's an equal amount of people, probably more, that have no health anxiety. What's the difference? We're all experiencing lockdown, probably most of the world right now. So why is it that some people have health anxiety and they're catastrophizing in their mind, feeling worst case scenario? And why are other people like, yeah, I'm a bit peeved that I can't go out, make a living, go to the shops, go see a movie in the cinema, go for some drinks with my friends in a public place, a bit peeved, a bit pissed off about it, but I'm not anxious about it. So what then becomes the difference? Hey, Oshman, how are you? If you're watching, give me a thumbs up, give me a wave so I know that you are out there. The difference becomes, you're not damaged. The people that have health anxiety, or I should say do health anxiety, they're not damaged at all. They're just doing some faulty thinking inside their head. However, they forgot that they were thinking, and their thinking is so fast that they don't realize they're thinking, they just feel that they're feeling. So thus that they feel it's real, meaning it's really happening. And as I always say, anxiety is always illusionary. What do I mean by that? It's not actually happening. It's not actually happening right now. But you say, Luke, but I'm having a panic attack right now. Yeah, but the thing that you're panicky about isn't happening right now. Makes me laugh sometimes. I'm on a lot of these Facebook forums for people with all kinds of anxiety. I don't laugh at their anxiety. Please let me make that perfectly clear. Not laughing at their anxiety, because I desperately want to help these people. However, what makes me laugh is someone types onto this Facebook forum, I'm having a panic attack right now. As someone that works with people that have panic attacks right now, and ethically cause people to have panic attacks sometimes so we can collapse that problem in and of themselves, I know that you're not having a panic attack if you can type out a paragraph on Facebook saying that you have a panic attack and then comment to every single comment underneath in real time. That's what makes me smile. Because when people truly have a panic attack, truly have a real panic attack, oftentimes they will drop to the ground. And I know this because I work with many people. In fact, my sister used to have panic attacks. So bad were they that as a young girl riding the subway or the tube system in England, where I'm from, she had to have a panic attack on the subway at 12 midnight on a Friday night where everyone's out on the town drinking, partying. Do you really want to be a young girl collapsing in a subway train, or the tube as we call it in England, at any time, let alone 12 midnight with a bunch of rowdy drunk people around you? No, it's not a good thing. So I know when people can write on the forum and say, oh, I'm having a panic attack right now, they're not. You may be experiencing some of the symptoms of anxiety, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you might be suffering in the illusion of thought right now, and you forgot that you were thinking. I appreciate that, and I understand that you're suffering and you need some help. Big difference between that and having a panic attack where you collapse on the floor. Let me share something with you very quickly right now, that if you ever have the displeasure of experiencing a panic attack, how you can shut that shit off immediately. And it takes about 5 seconds. Are you ready? You ever feel that you're having a panic attack and you're about to go down and you have no control? All you got to do is one thing. If you can't get medical attention, if it's that bad and you're on your own, here's the thing that you do. You get a hand. You can't see me. It doesn't matter which hand it is, but basically what you do is you put your index finger and your middle finger together like so, like a pistol, right? Doesn't matter which hand. Don't overcomplicate it, folks. Your other hand, whichever one that is, you grab your two fingers together like so. You keep them together. I'm going to relax my hands on my lap now, but my hand is still grabbing my 2 fingers, okay? And you do nothing else. What happens is it shuts off a valve inside your mind that's responsible for making you collapse, i.e. lack of oxygen to the brain, collapsing, fainting. It shuts down that response in your body, so it's damn near impossible when you do this. Think James Bond, right? He's from my country as well. Less tattoos though. Grab the fingers like so, and I'm just relaxing them on my lap, but I'm still holding them. It shuts down that valve inside your head that's responsible for making people collapse when they have a full-scale panic attack. It's really simple. Didn't cost you a dime to learn it. I've had it work for my sister and many, many clients. So use this. It's very powerful. Hey Heather, how are you? Hey Jacqueline, how are you? Heather asked me a question there. If you've got any questions about panic attack, health, anxiety, guys, now's the time. Ask me for free, because I'm fucking expensive. So now you've got me for free. You can ask me, should I say, some of my questions underneath, and I'll do my best to answer, ideally about health, anxiety tonight. I'm just going over some of the questions here. John says, truth, Luke, keep teaching. Thank you, John. Heather says, do you stop acid reflux from chronic anxiety and thinking? Well, first of all, yo, Jacqueline, how are you? I don't stop anything. So people often think they come to see me and I'm some magic magician who pulls out his magical wand. Don't worry, it's not one of those videos. And I go, hocus pocus, alakazam, all their problems go away, and I'm some kind of god. Now, that's great for my ego, right? But no, so I don't stop anything. I've helped probably about 8,000 people stop smoking. I've helped them to hypnotize themselves to overcome it. Did I make them stop smoking? No. I helped them to do it. Equally, I've had many people with physical chronic pain that they've had, that they couldn't do anything about it. Shoulder pain, back pain that they've had for over 6 months, some up to 30 years actually, to disappear that chronic pain. Not the acute pain. If you're in acute pain, go to your doctor, go to the surgery immediately. We're talking chronic pain. Pain where the doctors and surgeons and specialists I don't know what we can do about it. Helping those type of people to overcome their pain in as little as 10 minutes, even though they've been carrying it around proverbially and metaphorically. I need more coffee today, don't I, evidently, to get my words out a bit clearer out there. Have I taken away their pain? No, I'm not God. If they exist, did I make them stop smoking with my magic wand? No. I work as a GPS. Think of it like this: whatever problem you come to see me, whether that be health, anxiety, symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic physical pain, and addiction, if you will. Think of it. You're coming to see me. It's your car and you're driving it. I'm just your GPS in the back that tells you how to get to your destination quicker, safer, without hitting the evening rush hour traffic, and without going down any dead ends. It's your responsibility if you go left when I tell you to go left, or if you go right when I suggest you go right. You're always in complete control. I just can help to get you there even quicker. So hopefully that answers your question. But specifically, have I helped people with acid reflux? Yes, I have, and been successful with doing that as well. All right, what else we got? John Hammer. Why do I get so anxious when going to the doctor? It's an actual thing, John. It's an actual thing. It's called white, I believe, if memory serves me right, John Hammer, the name for the condition when people get scared of going to see a doctor, it's actually called white coat phobia, I believe. I think it's white coat phobia. I.e., you see someone dressed in a white coat, a doctor, a surgeon, a dentist, and unconsciously you have all these movies that play inside your head. Sometimes they're that fast you don't even realize you're seeing them. And most people's preconceived notion is, well, when I'm going to see a doctor or a surgeon, it's because something bad's happening, right? I'm ill, I'm sick, I'm going in for a surgery, I'm going in for a root canal, which doesn't fill most people with the happy chemicals of serotonin and dopamine inside their body. Mostly it's cortisol, the stress hormone, or adrenaline, fight, flight, or freeze inside their body. Hopefully that can kind of answer. I've had quite a few clients. I actually learned what that condition was called, John, about 2 years ago. I think it's white coat phobia, but it is a very real thing, meaning it's real as in the person actually feels it inside their body. Heidi asks, are trembling in legs normal during a panic attack? Quite a lot of people that I've worked with have trembling legs in a panic attack. The word normal, I don't like that word normal because it's different for different people. But is it common for people's legs to tremble in a panic attack? Yes. Equally, when people are really excited, let's say you love roller coasters. Let's say you really love roller coasters and you go to Disneyland or, I don't know, insert your theme park of choice here, and you're lining up at it. Finally, after about an hour, it comes. It's popular. It's a popular theme park. After an hour, it's your turn to get onto that roller coaster, and you're shaking. The shaking doesn't mean you're scared. Could mean you're scared. Could mean you're anxious. Equally could mean that you're excited, because you see, your unconscious, the bit that beats your heart, feels your feelings, thinks your thoughts, moves the body. It doesn't know the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. An example of this is this. Imagine it's late one night and you're walking down a dark alley to get home. Right? You've come out from the bars. It's after this corona nonsense has ended. You're walking down a dark alleyway, right? And you hear something walking behind you, and you start to hear a bottle roll on the ground. You're like, shit, am I being pursued? Am I being stalked? What's going on? You haven't seen anything, but you've heard that sound and you've played that movie so fast, you might not have realised you were playing the movie because it was under the surface. And you're about to have a panic attack as your heart is beeping, there's palpitations, you're shaking, your legs are shaking, you're trembling, maybe even you're perspiring just a little bit, and you look over your shoulder and you realise it was just a little cat walking around, going for its evening walk, because they're nocturnal characters. So your unconscious doesn't know the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. So when people do anxiety, and you do anxiety, and I do anxiety, everyone does anxiety, it's not like someone is throwing over a bucket of anxiety on you, it's how you process it. And I understand, I know it's real for you, I understand it makes you suffer, and I understand that sometimes it makes you feel that you're in a prison. And I understand up to this point you didn't realise that you were doing it unconsciously, not consciously, not logically, not deliberately, but in the same way you don't think about beating your heart every second of every day. It just happens. In the same way you don't have to think about breathing every day, you just breathe. In the same way you don't have to think about sending blood to a little toe in your left foot right now. It just does it automatically. And the people on this Facebook Live now who have health anxiety or any other kind of anxiety, you've just forgot that you were thinking. And when you realise that you're not actually processing the real world, it's a bit like the old Matrix, right? It's a bit like Matrix. You're not processing the real world, you're processing your thought on the real world. Because if you look around your room or wherever you are now, just look at something, right? Look at an object somewhere in your room, wherever you are now, right? Whatever the object is, you're not seeing it. Neither am I. So I'm looking at my iPhone now, right? The camera as I'm doing this. Looks real to me. The only reason I can see that iPhone is light hit my eye. And when the light hits my eye, it allows me to see this object, or what I think of the object. In reality, I'm not really seeing it. I'm kind of seeing a memory of it and a little bit about what's there based on these molecules. But I can only see it, and it only exists because the light hits my eye and allows me to do it. So when you think about anxiety now, and you think about the way you feel, be that health anxiety or any other type of anxiety, understand, as I often tell a lot of my clients, this. It feels real, right? Your body may have a reaction, but as soon as you get to yourself, you get this to yourself, like, this is not real. For example, I always give this example. Let's say you're terrified of falling off of a cliff and you're climbing up Mount Everest, right? And you're terrified. You have anxiety about falling off that cliff. The very fact that you're feeling the fear, the anxiety about falling off the cliff, and you're seeing that movie inside your head, means the thing that you're scared of anxious about isn't actually happening. Because make no mistake about it, if you fell off that cliff, you fell off that mountain, you wouldn't be thinking about falling off anymore. You would go into a flow-like state where your body would go into autopilot, readying you to go flat on the floor. And if you fell flat off the cliff, and it's 5 minutes later and you're lying on the ground, you're no longer anxious about falling off the cliff, because it would make no sense, because you just fell off of it. Understand? Another example of this is this. Let's say you are terrified of water, right? And we go on this yacht that I have, you and I, right? And we go in the south of France and we're on a yacht and you're sitting on the edge of it, beautiful blue ocean. And you're scared of water. You're scared of the ocean. You can be scared before you go in it. But let's say I pushed you in it and now you're in the blue ocean and you're fighting to stay up. Where does that fear go? The fear of falling in. Fear's gone because you're in. You're not thinking anything in that moment. All your unconscious is thinking, or doing I should say, ain't really thinking, is to keep your head above water. Keep flailing your arms and legs to keep you alive. Hence, I never recommend doing this. But I don't know, I remember my parents would tell me, if you want to learn to swim, when you're a baby, throw your kid into the swimming pool and it will just start to swim naturally. Didn't have to think, didn't have to have eight weeks of sessions like I did as a teenager to learn to swim. It will just learn to swim because it's a survival mechanism. There's no thought, there's no concept in the baby's mind of swimming, it just swims. Now, let's say I pull you out of the ocean after you've been thrown in it and you play that movie after. You're no longer scared of falling into the ocean because you just fell into the ocean. Being scared of falling into the ocean, it wouldn't make any sense to be scared of it anymore because you just were. Okay? Another example of this is, let's say you're scared of dogs, right? And then a dog starts chasing you to bite you. But you have to move a bunch of really fast to get away from that dog. So your body secretes adrenaline so you can run a bit fast. You could jump a little bit higher. While you're running, while you're sprinting, while you're jumping like Michael Jordan to get away from that dog, you ain't thinking about getting eaten by that dog anymore. All you're thinking is, you're feeling is, you're doing whatever you need to do to get out of there. Your mind goes on autopilot, just like breathing. Again, you don't have to think about breathing, you just breathe. Think about that process. And then suddenly you jump over the gate, you're safe, the dog can't get you anymore. Okay? The very fact that you're feeling the anxiety means it isn't actually happening in this moment. Because if it was happening, take solace in the fact of you wouldn't be thinking about it. We cannot feel the future because it hasn't happened right now. So all anxiety is illusionary. I mean, it feels really real, but it's not, doesn't exist. It could happen in the future. Equally, it could not happen in the future. We could all die of coronavirus. We could equally not die of coronavirus. Okay? We don't know. Bottom line is we don't know because we can't feel the future. It hasn't happened yet. So if you find yourself obsessing about your health, and I'm just using coronavirus now because it's, we're all experiencing this universal truth or this universal lockdown. Don't know how much of it's true because I know a lot of people, and I don't think I know anyone that's has the coronavirus or symptoms right now, been diagnosed with it, which is really, really interesting. Be curious if anyone watching this video, if you've been diagnosed with coronavirus, put underneath. Because since this has been going on a month or so now, and it's been crazy for at least a month or so now, but longer, I don't know of anyone, and I know a lot of people who have been diagnosed with coronavirus, which is interesting. So understand, when you're having a panic attack, here's how you switch it off. 2 fingers, doesn't matter which hand, grab them like so, shuts off the valve inside your head. Understand that whenever you're feeling any kind of anxiety for anything, the very fact that you're feeling it in that moment means only one thing. Not that the thing will happen or won't happen, because we don't know, because all anxiety is in the future. It just means one universal thing, that the thing that you're scared of, anxious about, panicky about, isn't happening in the moment. Isn't happening right now. Because if it was, you wouldn't be having a panic attack or having the obsessive compulsive thoughts. You would just be in a flow state. And I don't mean necessarily in a positive way. You'd be under, not lockdown, but you'd be on autopilot is more apropos of the word I'm talking. You would just be putting out the fire. You know, you ever heard that story of a £100 woman who gets involved in an automobile accident? Her kids are in the car's about to go boom, a big explosion, and suddenly this £100 woman can crack open that door that's been shouldered shut of the fire that's happening in that car, and somehow she can rip open that car door and take her children out to safety. Do you think she was thinking about that logically in the moment? She was just doing in that moment on survival mode, automatic mode, to save, you know, probably the most beloved people in her life. Okay, it becomes automatic. So if you only take one thing away from this whole talk tonight, only take one thing away. Whenever you feel anxious, whenever you have those over compulsive thoughts, be that about health or anything else, it's all the same, meaning how it affects your body and neurology, just say to yourself, well, the very fact that I'm thinking this, the very fact that I'm feeling this in this very moment means it can't actually be happening right now. And then when you realize it isn't actually happening right now, whether it can or whether it will or whether it won't, we don't know, because we can't feel the future, remember. But the very fact, you say to yourself, the very fact that I'm feeling this now, this anxiety, means it isn't actually happening. The thing that I'm scared of isn't actually happening in this moment. As soon as you realize this, it's a bit like waking up from a nightmare. You know, you've been in a nightmare and zombies have been chasing you. You're scared, you're perspiring, you look, it's very realistic. You've been watching too much of The Walking Dead. You look around your room and you realize, oh, it wasn't real. Felt real. Heart was acting as if it was real. Mind was acting as if it was real. But I just had a nightmare. And now I'm awake. And when you realize that you were just having a nightmare and you just became awake, you could see it. Don't have to do any more special techniques out there. Like, you don't have to remind yourself it was just a nightmare. You wake up, oh, it's just a dream. It's just a nightmare. It was unpleasant. It didn't really happen. Felt real though. Body acted as if it was real. Deeply unpleasant. Suffering from that moments that I was having that, but it was just a nightmare. Grab your glass of water or your sugar-free beverage and go back to sleep and everything's okay. It really is that simple. Not easy, simple. What's the difference between easy and simple? Well, simple is you can do these things. Easy is it just happens automatically. You can allow it to happen automatically, but sometimes our logic, our conscious mind will get in the way. Change is very quick, actually. Change is very quick. Change can happen like that. Okay, but getting your conscious mind, your intellect to buy into change can happen that quickly. That sometimes can be the battle in change work, because people's identity for so long has been about, oh, well, I've got health anxiety, X, Y, and Z. And it starts to become about them. Here's an example of that. Grab something in front of you. I've just got a pen. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be your phone, could be a beverage, it could be anything. Just grab something in front of you now. It could be your keys. Grab it in your hand, right? I've got a pen. And you look at that object, right? Look at the object you're holding right now. Actually really do this. This is an interesting experiment. Grab that object in front of your eyes. And whatever it is, change the word for whatever it is in your hand. And you say, because it's a pen, I'm going to say pen. My pen. Just notice how that feels. Whatever the object is to you, that's the name you'd use. Right? My pen. My anxiety. Right. Now say that pen. Just notice how that feels a bit different. All right? Just give it a moment. That pen or that object, whatever your object is. Just notice how that feels. Now say this pen, whatever your object is, this pen. And just notice how that feels differently inside. I'd be curious to know how that felt differently between mine, this, and that. Put your comment underneath how that felt differently for you. Okay, and as I'm waiting for you to put your comments in underneath, yes, this is interactive. When things becomes about you, my anxiety, my depression, my fear, comes about you, like a pen, like a phone, like a car, like a house, like a partner. Start to treat those people, things like objects, they're yours. You don't want to give it up. My pen, my house, my partner, my phone, I'm not going to take this away. My anxiety. No, not going to take it away. It's my anxiety. It becomes an identity statement. When a thing becomes about your identity, it becomes exponentially harder to get rid of unless you use the right tools. Now, if you've got that same problem, that same thing, it's, okay, this anxiety, this pen, this car, whatever the object is, this cell phone, gives you a bit more maneuverability, a bit of distance from it. It's not about you anymore, it's this. Dissociate from it. When it's that pen, that car, that anxiety, because it's no longer about you anymore, it's about that outside. It starts becoming about the identity that you're broken because you're not. It starts to become that there's just been a thing that you've been doing for a long time that you didn't realise you were doing. I know you didn't realise you were doing it, but you were. And you were doing it so quick and so fast, you forget you were doing it. If you ever knew that you were doing it in the same way that you breathe, in the same way your heart beats, in the same way blood is circulated through the body, in the same way you move your body, you're doing it. You're driving the bus. However, nobody told you you were doing it consciously. I'm here to tell you you're doing it. And in just the same way you are doing it, you can stop doing it now and do something better. So, put your comments about your experiences of this underneath. I'd be interested to get to know. And just ruminate with that thing over the next few days. The very fact that I'm feeling this only means one thing, irrefutable logic, is the thing that I'm scared of, anxious about, health anxiety, coronavirus, whatever it isn't actually happening in this moment. It could happen. Yes, it could happen. It could equally not happen. Same as, some people are scared of coronavirus. Oh my God, I'm going to die. We're never going to get out of lockdown. Equally, some people are like, this is like an extended vacation. I'm a bit bored, but I know I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be fine. We're all experiencing this same universal thing of lockdown right now. But some people are just working with it completely differently. And that's a good thing. Because some people, quite a lot of people, are dealing with it differently. It's an inconvenience. As Tigra makes a cameo right here, and you see the top of her head as she waggles her towel, she needs attention at all times. As soon as you stop paying attention to that thing that's trying to get you to create attention to it, oh, notice me, notice me, notice me, notice me, notice me, anxiety, notice me, notice me. You look at it, okay, I notice you, and now you can be gone. Acknowledge it and let it go. So I'd be interested to hear your experience underneath. Equally, if you're watching this live or on a replay, I'm going to be making a audio recording. It's going to be free for the next week or two when I can get around to doing it, but I am going to charge after that. But it's free to you. However, what you've got to do, this is very clear because I did this the other day and people were not clear. Even though I was clear and I made the point 3 times, people were not didn't do what I asked them to do. If you'd like a copy of my recording on how to deal with health anxiety using hypnosis and other mind sciences, it's not yet recorded, but it will be in the next couple of weeks. Personal message me, PM me on here with your email address. And once I have your email address, after you've PM'd me, personal message me here, I will send it out to you. So don't put underneath, I want it, because how do I get it to you? Need your personal address. Don't personal message me, say, Luke, send it to me, and leave out your email address, because how am I going to get it to you? Through carrier pigeon? So if you'd like a copy of that recording, when it's done, it isn't done yet, and I don't know when it will be done. Probably in the next couple of weeks. Personal message me on Facebook, and give me your email address, and then once it's recorded, I will send you a copy before I charge for it, okay? But please be patient with me, because I haven't even recorded it yet. That being said, if you have any questions, now would be a good time to ask them in the comments. If not, if you leave any comments, I'll be going through them and I will be answering them over the next few hours. And so please stay safe out there. Replay some of this. I know it's going to challenge a lot of your beliefs, but remember, mine, yes, I, this, that. Just remember that. Don't make it about you, okay? Just something you were doing up to this point that was silly, that you didn't realise you were doing, but now you realise you were doing it, and now you can undo it and create something else in your future. Always believe.